Hello, welcome in everyone. I'm Peaceful Nick, the medium. I have been working so hard behind the scenes to develop so many new projects and things for you to enjoy to help people heal. So, I'm going to talk about a bunch of new projects and then we're going to get to the main course of Whispers from Heaven for Moms of Angels, which is our theme tonight. Mother's Day is coming up this weekend, and there are a lot of moms who have angels in spirit. And so we are going to talk about that tonight. If you come in, say hello, let me know where you're from. First, I want to talk about my Patreon. I just started a Patreon. It is totally free. Anyone can join, and everyone that joins gets invited to a free Zoom gallery on June 2nd. So everyone who joins between now and June 2nd gets invited to a free gallery where I will be doing readings of different kinds. Card readings, maybe a mediumship reading, just depends how the spirit is coming through that day. So please join my Patreon. It is greatly appreciated. All of the ways you all participate with my social media helps boost me and push me out into the algorithm. And it is so greatly appreciated because I could not run my business without social media. So I appreciate all the interactions with all of my posts, videos, everything. So please go join my Patreon and you will be invited to a free gallery. It's totally free. It's a click of a button. Thank you so much. And I would appreciate, if you click like or comment or something. I post articles, videos, pictures, all kinds of stuff on there. The next thing I want to talk about that I've been working on is I have set up, I had a mini gallery that was only $11 a person. And within 2 days, it was booked and it was full. And I wasn't expecting that. And so I thought, well, maybe there is a market for these smaller, less expensive galleries. So I have on May 13th, myself and Cosmic Chris will be hosting a mini gallery where we are doing card readings. Everyone is guaranteed a reading in every gallery. That's why the seating is limited. They're only $11. So Cosmic Chris and myself on May 13th. May 15th, I have a gallery myself. And May 24th, we have Coffee and Cards with Peaceful Nick. That's a Saturday morning because some people are morning people. And I thought, well, let's try a Saturday morning. Everybody who registers for any of these galleries, guaranteed reading. Every single person will get a reading. That's why it's limited seating. So please check those out on my website. I also have all of my 30-minute readings for May are $50. I just opened some spaces today because I only had a couple spaces left for the rest of the month. And I thought, well, I guess people need healing. So I opened up some new spots. So those spaces are there if you would like a mediumship reading or any other kind of reading. 30 minutes for $50. I also still have my digital downloadable course on sale for only $27. It's the equivalent of a 6-month mediumship beginner's course in a book. It has all kinds of journal prompts, information, and exercises. Several people have bought it already, and I'm getting very good responses from them. I promise we're going to get to the subject. I just want to finish these announcements. So thank you for your patience and everyone who's joining, and hello. I also just developed 3 new small classes because I do have a 6-month mentorship for beginners, intermediate, and advanced students, but not everybody wants a full 6 months that turns into 18 months if you take all the classes. Some people just want little snippets. So I developed a small course, Connect with Your Guides, Discover Your Clairs, and how to connect with your loved ones in spirit. And these are also limited seating and they're only $15 and they're about an hour long. Those are all also on my website. So thank you for sitting through all my announcements. For those of you who just joined, don't forget to join my Patreon. It's totally free and you will be invited to a free Zoom gallery. I'm trying to help the world heal. Hello, Brooke. Hello, Holly. Hello, Lise. Thank you for the compliment. She loves the idea of coffee and cards. That's Saturday morning, May 24th at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific. So if you're a morning person, it's on my website already. Hi, Jessie. Hi, Siobhan. Hi, Diana. Oh, thank you. The class is amazing and the course is brilliant. Thank you so very much. Hi, Sandy. I spoke to one of your friends the other day, Sandy. It was very nice. It was very nice of you to share my stuff with them. I appreciate that. So tonight, now everybody can join this. You don't have to be a mother with an angel and spirit to join this live, right? Anybody can benefit from these messages and this information. Hi, Doris. So tonight I want to talk about, since Mother's Day is Sunday, and last week my talk was about motherless daughters or people who have lost their mother. Tonight I want to talk about the opposite, a Mother's Day spiritual support for mothers who have lost a child. So if you have lost a child and you want, to talk about it, ask me any questions, get support, let me know. How do I get my lighting so perfect? Oh, you look flawless. Okay. So full disclaimer, I have a filter on this and I didn't even know it was on there until I was piddling around with the settings, and there's a touch up appearance on there, just like on Zoom, and it just kind of blurs all the flaws out. So this is not the real me. But thank you. I appreciate, and I have lamps all around me. So I have my ring light and a lamp on each side to kind of blur it all out. I've watched a lot of movies and I see the background stuff, how they set up all the lights, so everything's just kind of blurred out and faded. So that's what I'm doing. So thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it. Hi, Tara. Hi, Lori. Oh, hi, Diana. Your son is in spirit. So, hi, Kimberly. Thank you. It's all fake. And I like to be transparent about that because as women, we know that, and this is a sore spot for me. We know that there are very high expectations in our society for beauty, and you have to look a certain way and weigh a certain amount and blah, 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 blah. And your nose has to be a certain this and that, blah, blah, blah. So I like to be transparent about when there is a filter on and when I do have the lighting set up and that this is not real, because there are people who aren't happy with themselves and go to drastic measures to make themselves happy when things are fake, right? The world, nobody's perfect. Everybody has flaws. Everybody has things wrong with their body according to society, right? In their face. So just full transparency. But thank you. And this won't be edited out. So it's on the internet forever, which I'm fine with. I'm an open book. All right. So if you have any questions about how to deal with loss of a child, mourning your child, since Mother's Day is this Sunday, especially if it's the first Mother's Day, please put them in the chat. Please interact as much as possible with this video while it's live because it pushes me out. I appreciate that so much. Again, I appreciate everyone who joins my Patreon, who clicks like on my videos, comments on any of my posts. It just helps in every single way. And share stuff because it just pushes out the video. You can share it back with me. I don't care. Just interact with it because social media is a little tough sometimes. And it's the best way to get the word out to everybody. So I just want everyone to know that if you are mourning a child, I am sending so much love and comfort to all of the mothers and fathers joining me today, especially those carrying the deep, deep sacred grief of child loss. There is no worse pain than losing a child. Um, and through my mediumship, I am, you know, in contact with spirit regularly, and the parents are mourning deeply. And so I could tell 100 different stories, um, but just know that I understand your grief. Shelley agrees. Thank you, Shelley. So I want you to know that I want to hold this space for you. I want you to know that your child in spirit is safe and at peace. And your love is tangible. It is not gone. And there's a great, great scene in a science fiction movie, of all things, about love. And I posted this several times on my social media, and there's clips on YouTube you can look up. It's in the movie Interstellar. Just go on YouTube and say Interstellar scene about love. And the lady in the movie, can't remember her name, she's famous, and Matthew McConaughey are talking about love and how, what's the use of love if you can't prove it scientifically? Is it real? Something to that effect. And they're talking about the social utility of love. So, like when you have a family group or a community and you love each other, there is social utility in that, right? Love is needed to take care of each other. But when someone passes away, then you love them and you can feel that love still. You're still connected to that person, even though their body is no longer here. How can you explain that? What's the use of that? And it's a beautiful scene. So I recommend anybody interested, please check that out. Lise, yes, we should love all of our parts. Absolutely. It does help us in every way feel better, even if we aren't happy with our appearance. Beauty starts on the inside with our thoughts. Yep. 100%. I lost my grandmother. She loved life to the fullest, even through the roughest of times. She lived through the depression with resilience and gratitude. Oh, I remember, Gran, and all your trips down there. Shelley Ann, been 29 years since my son passed. Feels like yesterday. Yeah, it can last, and it will last forever. And so I tell people when they ask me, will I ever get over this? And you're never going to get over it. There's no solution to stopping the pain of that loss. There is, and I describe it this way. I've described it like this many times. If you're standing in front of a mountain, you can see it clearly. So in this example, the mountain is your pain. You can see it clearly. If you move a mile from the mountain, you can still see the mountain, but it's a tiny bit blurry. And so the distance in this example is time. So we're moving in time from the pain. And you move 2 miles and 10 miles and 100 miles. Pretty soon you're 100 miles from the mountain, or several years from the pain. You can still see that mountain. It's just a little blurrier. It's not, the pain isn't as extreme. It's a little dulled, just a little bit, but it's still there. And it's never going to completely go away. And there's, I believe it's China. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. When they break a glass, like our heart is broken when we have a loss like that, they repair it with gold. So think of the cracks in your heart, repair them the best you can with positivity. And often our life goes in a new trajectory when we have a loss like that. So think about repairing those painful cracks in your heart with the gold in the example I gave of how they repair the cup with gold, because that's those repairs, sometimes beautiful things come out of them. So Just think about that when you're experiencing the pain. But just know all of our loved ones are safe and at peace. Doesn't take our pain away. And I do want to say, our loved ones in spirit do not want us to ruminate on and suffer forever. They want us to experience joy while we are here, because most of us come here to experience challenges and pain. If you know anyone who has not experienced pain, please let me know, or a hard time, right? Because everybody I know has experienced lots of different things. No one here lives a flawless life or a pain-free life. So we sign up for this. So when our loved ones are in spirit, they're watching and observing, and they understand what we're going through because they lived here too, but they don't want us to suffer forever because, as my brilliant friend Lise says, she's on here, this is all an illusion, right? This is our meat suit, as my sister Holly calls it. Our meat suit is temporary. Our soul is eternal. So our soul will leave this body, and then the soul is happy and fine and joyful and in a place of unconditional love, observing what's going on here and never wanting our loved ones who are still on this earth to be miserable forever. They want you to understand you don't have to suffer forever. It's okay to feel joy. Doesn't mean don't mourn. It doesn't mean don't have moments of sadness. It just means don't be miserable forever. They don't want that for you. Yes, Lise said, we're all children of someone. It's all a big circle. Exactly. Oh, great point. By the way, there are a lot of unseen forces that are scientifically provable. Radio waves, electricity, love being just another one. Exactly. When I was watching the telepathy tapes, they were talking to a scientist who was talking about, well, we can't see magnetic fields with the visible wavelength. We can't see them, but they are certainly there. The Earth has a huge magnetic field. That's how we get auroras. So if anybody has ever seen an aurora, it's because of Earth's magnetic field and the solar flares, right? They make the pretty colors in the sky. So there are many things we can't see that are real. So, and as a scientist, I'm always on the quest to prove mediumship is real through science. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Jane. Yes, sweetheart, 25 years since your son passed. And for those of you, I had some inquiries about the Spirit Exchange this week. It is tomorrow night. It is the a la cartes were sold out. There's a waiting list. So if you want to get on the waiting list, let me know, but it is sold out. It is jam-packed. So, but the next Spirit Exchange has Miss Molly Knows, the finder of lost items. And that is, I want to say June 29th, it's the end of June. So just know tomorrow night is sold out. So, and Jane, I know you're in the Spirit Exchange. So that brought that to my attention. Angie, I emailed you earlier, by the way, for your reading tomorrow. I sent you the link. Sometimes that damn mountain pops up right in front of you and smacks you in the face when you're least expecting it. And that is true. That is true. That is why I don't sugarcoat anything and say everything's going to be butterflies and flowers forever and you're going to sit on a cloud and everything's going to be great. No, that's not how life is. We experience pain, period. And it sucks. That's the bottom line. And it will, you'll get the scent of a type of food, or you'll see a commercial on TV, or an old video pops up on your phone. Phones like to give us memories now, and that can be bad. And that pain is as if you were right there in it. That is a flashback. So there's a difference between a sad memory and a flashback. So a flashback in your mind, anyone who's experienced trauma, a flashback of anything painful or traumatic, your brain does not know the difference between the flashback and the reality. So that's different from a regular memory. So if you're thinking about your loved one in spirit and you're just having a memory of them and you feel a little sad, um, that's different from a flashback where your brain and body feels like you're in that moment. So, yes, Angie, that is true. Dawn can't wait for tomorrow night. Me too. Jane can't wait either. Hi, Kimmy Cat. Hello. I'm glad you're jumping in. Yes, Lisa's seen 5 auroras. Yep. Hi, Connie. All right. So, what is next? So, I'm going to talk a little bit more. Please put your questions, comments. Keep interacting with the video. I appreciate it. So, what you want to do when you have when you're feeling lost, you're feeling sad, honor your eternal bond. Know this, that the bond between a mother and a child, mothers, especially mothers who biologically gave birth to their child, they share cells. Not saying that someone who adopts a child doesn't love their child just as much. I'm just saying biologically there is a difference. But the bond is eternal. It's soul deep. It does not end with the passing. Your child is not gone. It just has changed form. Now, that doesn't make anybody feel better who's lost a child. And I also want to mention that people who lose pregnancies, whether you have lost a pregnancy naturally or medically, that soul of that child is safe and at peace. So never worry about the passing or loss of a pregnancy in any way, that there is any harm to that soul. Humans do not have the capability of harming a soul, no matter what we do. The soul is way too powerful, and we only have a teeny tiny bit of the soul in our body temporarily anyway. So there's no harm to that soul. So just know that. So if you're someone who's lost a pregnancy in any way, doesn't matter what way the pregnancy was lost, just know that you are, that soul of that child is unharmed and safe and at peace. And sometimes the soul of that child was not meant to come into your life at that time and can come back into your life in another way. Okay, maybe your cousin or a niece or nephew, or maybe you have another child later. I can't prove that, right? I can't scientifically prove that, but I do get this information when I'm communicating with spirit. So souls know when they are going to be a full pregnancy or not. They know ahead of time. Ashley said, I'm so glad I found you. I have another session with you later this month. Oh, that's wonderful, Ashley. I cannot wait to talk to you. I'm so happy. That makes me thrilled to hear. Let's see. What else do we have? When you are wanting to reach out to your child in spirit, remember the theme tonight is mothers who've lost children, but this, anybody can use these tips and tricks. Anyone you want to reach out to in spirit, anyone can be their own medium. You don't have to sit through classes. You don't have to, buy notebooks and all that stuff. Anyone can learn to do this. However, you must be able to discern the information you are getting is accurate and can be validated. So I say that as a disclaimer, because sometimes we're in deep mourning and things happen in our head and maybe they're not really what we think they are. So make sure if you are getting messages from a loved one in spirit that you use your discernment. If you see a sign, for example, my mother brings me doves pretty consistently. Oh, I have a great story. This just happened to my husband and myself. Now, I have told a little bit about this before. My brother-in-law, David, passed away in 2016. Now, he was a stubborn person, and if he knew I was doing this because I wasn't a medium then, he probably would not be too thrilled with this. He was a Methodist minister. He and I were pretty close, and he was very close to my husband. We were close family. And he, excuse me. So David didn't come to me in a dream for a very long time. He's only come to me a couple of times. Now, for any of you looking for a sign, this is a perfect example. So, I'm sorry. I have not coughed once today. Excuse me. Stand by. I'm okay. I'm just coughing. Okay. I think I'm okay. I think that was an allergy attack. I don't know what happened. So thank you for standing by. I hope you didn't see and hear all of that. I tried to mute myself. Excuse me. Okay. David, my brother-in-law, passed in 2017 and 2016, excuse me. And he was very close to myself and my husband. And he was a little stubborn and only came to me in a dream a couple of times very briefly. But about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, everywhere my husband and I went, someone named David helped us. They either waited on us at a restaurant, were our checker at the grocery store, at Starbucks. There was almost always someone named David in front of us because, they call out the names. So my husband had a little medical procedure on his face the other day, and he had stitches. And we went to the grocery store to pick up his medicine from the pharmacy, and the gentleman helping him was named David. And I was like, okay. Then we went to Starbucks a few days later, and the person at the end of the counter who hands you your coffee was named David on his name tag. And the person in front of us waiting for their coffee had 3 cups in a row. All of them said David, David, David. Now, you cannot, the odds of that are astronomical. And this happens to us all the time. And my husband, he's a skeptical type, and he said to me before, it's a really common name. I'm like, it is a common name. That is correct. But Michael is the most common male's name in the United States. And I never see a Michael or hear a Michael in front of us. It's always David. And so I thought that was a beautiful story. And those are signs from our loved ones that in my opinion, are undeniable. I mean, what are the odds of that happening almost every single time we go out in public, to a restaurant, to the Starbucks, to a grocery store, Home Depot, the doctor's office? It doesn't matter. It's just the odds are really, 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 really slim of that happening. Thank you, Sylvia. I appreciate that. And I hope you didn't see or hear my coughing fit because it was pretty bad. It's allergy season, I guess. So, any other questions or comments before I go to the next point? And have any of you gotten consistent signs from your loved ones in spirit? So, the point of my David story before my coughing attack was when you are asking for signs from your child that you lost or from a loved one in spirit, they need to be consistent. And when you get that sign, you need to have them in your mind at the time. So let's say blue butterflies is your sign for your cousin that passed. Let's pretend. And every time you see a blue butterfly, your cousin pops in your head. Now, your cousin is not in the blue butterfly. Your cousin, in this example, is allowing you to see, moving your mind to see the blue butterfly, or moving their energy through the blue butterfly so it flies in front of you. So you say, oh, my cousin is sending me a sign, they're around. Hello, souls and spirits. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Everybody, I've been working a lot with Souls and Spirits. They have a wonderful website, soulsandspirits.com. We're collaborating on a lot of projects. And Cosmic Chris is from Souls and Spirits. And we have a tarot card reading gallery, very limited seating, on Tuesday, May 13th. It's only $11 and everybody gets a card reading. So I'm glad you're here. So Souls and Spirits, can you put your website in the chat for me, please? All right, the next point. And Sylvia, I want to go back to your comment for a second about losing a child through miscarriage, because so many women who have miscarriages or any kind of pregnancy loss beat themselves up for so long. And there actually are studies, my sister brought this to my attention, where they are talking about the health of the sperm having genetic disorders in the sperm when it fertilizes the egg. And that is causing a lot more miscarriage than people think. So people have been blaming women all this time when men are equally as responsible for the health of their sperm. Because if you need to stop doing anything toxic to your body 6 or 7 months before you procreate, so your sperm and eggs are healthy. So, let's see. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Jane's finding coins that add up to her son's age at transition 26. Now that is a sign. That is a consistent sign. Good. Excellent. Lisa says, my Grams comes to me as a butterfly too. They hang out even at nighttime, which is wild. That is wild. Angie said, my daughter plays music for me in the car at my son's track meets, randomly play on YouTube when my husband is in the garage. It's always one of 3 strongs we strongly associate with her. And they will go through the music and the TV and the phone and all of that. Yes, they will. Absolutely. Electronics are like the easiest thing for them to interact with. Absolutely, for sure. I was doing a reading and I do most of them on Zoom. And my light started flickering. My light had never flickered before and has not flickered since in my office. The little lamp I have sitting here started flickering. And at the exact same time, my client's light started flickering. And that's the sign she gets from her loved one. And so both of our lights were flickering at the exact same time. That is a sign. And it was amazing. Hi, Cheryl. I'm so glad you're here. I'm very happy that you're here, and I am going to go to the next point in just a moment. Kimmy Cat. Since I started working on my own abilities, the synchronicities have been off the charts. Let me tell you, once we put our antenna up, I always say we have antenna. Once we put those antenna up, things start happening. All my students in all my classes, as soon as they start, all the stuff starts happening. So Kimmy, when you don't want these things to happen, just send out a message to your guides or to your loved ones and say, okay, right now I am, having to pay attention at a doctor's appointment or a work meeting. Don't come in right now. So you have to have a boundary for when you're doing human things, and they'll listen. They'll listen. A partner died 2 years ago. Angel numbers are in my face, 333. My dreams have been intense. Yeah. I wish I had a solution for the dreams because I have dream problems myself. I swear I live another whole life at night. I tell my husband all the time, it's like I live in an avatar. Like, the movie Avatar where they plug the guy in, the human guy, and then he has a whole avatar life. And then he has to wake up and have his human life. That's how I always feel every day. I'm so tired all the time because of it. Yeah, I don't have any advice for the dreams. I've prayed, I've talked to my guides, I've begged the universe, please slow these dreams down. Julie Hayward, my little sister was born on Valentine's and died 2 weeks later. Oh, I'm so sorry. I continuously see a heart put right where I can see it, sometimes several times a day. Yep. Consistency, consistency, consistency. Absolutely. Hi, Ray. Love it, love it, love it. I love all the emojis. Hi, Kim. Glad you're here. I'm glad everyone's here, even if you're just stopping by for a moment. This is about the egg and sperm. You are very right. I thought for many years it was my fault. I knew it wasn't for many reasons. I didn't grieve then. And although it's been 25 years, there have been signs that she is still with me for many years. And yes, so that's a great point. So for those with any pregnancy loss, those souls are full-grown souls. They're fully formed souls. They just didn't come into the world in that moment, in that body. They could come in later, like I said earlier. But yeah, they can still send signs and be with you. Yes, 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 absolutely. There's no difference between the soul of a pregnancy loss and a full-grown person. No difference. The soul is the soul. Cheryl, great question. How do I know if my daughter is okay? Every single soul goes to the spirit world. Every single soul is safe and at peace. No soul is stuck. No soul is in hell. No soul is suffering. Period. Dot. End of story. Those are myths perpetrated by religions to scare us into behaving the way they want us to and to write them a check every week or have an automatic withdrawal, which I just learned some churches do, but that's beside the point. All of our loved ones in spirit are okay. The spirit world, or heaven as some people define it, is one different dimension, right? So we are in the three-dimensional world. So everything we see is three-dimensional. We can see a two-dimensional flat piece of paper, right? 2 dimensions, flat. We can see a dot, which is like 1 dimension. So we can see all of that clearly. But to see higher dimensions, and this is scientific, we can only see shadows of it. But everyone in the spirit world, which is in a higher dimension, can see everything down here clearly. Everything in the three-dimensional world clearly. So your daughter can see everything that's happening with you. She can see what you did yesterday. She can see what you did 5 minutes ago. As soon as you type that, she's probably right there with you. I don't know. She's talking about a phone call or something. Did you just have an important phone call within the last day? Something about an intense or important phone call she's talking about. So just let me know. Hi, Ray. I just keep seeing a phone call or something, some important conversation. That's what I'm seeing. So know that your daughter is safe and at peace for sure. And I'm glad everybody's here. So tonight, if you just joined, we're talking about mothers who have lost children, whether it was a pregnancy loss or a child that was born. So we have to trust in spirit communication. I have some just notes here I jotted down before the live. Our children can reach out. We were just talking about signs and flickering lights and dreams and music and things like that. These are real sacred messages, and they have to be consistent. So you have to be discerning. The next point I would like to talk about is you can create a sacred space. So anyone who is practicing any kind of spiritual modality, whether it's mediumship, reading cards, Reiki, just meditation, anything like that, make a space where you can practice that. And so maybe make a small altar to honor your child where you just have, a picture of them and a candle and their favorite toy or something like that. That's creating a sacred space. It doesn't have to be a whole big room. It can just be a little area on a table somewhere or a shelf. Cheryl is answering. Ooh. Yep. That is her confirming what I said to you about her being safe and at peace. So if you never ever see a medium and you never, do that, know that this one message from her proves she saw what you were doing. She knows what happened and she was there, proving she's safe and at peace. Her soul still exists. I don't know you. I've never met you. I wouldn't know that you just had a very emotional conversation with your sister about your daughter, but your daughter knew, and she just put it in my head and I just blurted it out. That's proof that she's there and she's safe and at peace. So love to you, Cheryl, love to you. I knew what you meant, Cheryl. Do you talk to text? I talk to text and it makes it all wonky. And I work for a Mars organization, and every time I talk to text Mars, it spells it with 2 R's. I don't know why. So I get it. Lisa, Thursday night at 11, I was at Angie's. We were getting ready to go to bed. Our kitchen light went out and internet went out. So I got the something and asked if my friend was with us. Oh, the pendulum is what that's supposed to say. And asked her to try and tell us something, got yes. Call next day, her uncle died. Wow. Yep. That happens all the time. And then Cheryl, at the same time I was on the phone with my sister, I told her that a cardinal landed in the tree above my garden. I planted flowers for my daughter an hour later. I'm on the phone with my sister, and a cardinal landed in the tree right off her porch in front of her. So I guess my daughter left my yard and went to my sister's 10 miles apart. Exactly. Now, I don't know if the cardinal went that far in that amount of time. It could have been a different cardinal, but that's still pretty amazing. Thank you, Ray. Love to all you moms out there. So make sure, and thank you guys so much for interacting with the video in the comments. I love it. We just want to create a healing space for everyone. So create a sacred little space for your loved ones if you feel that it's appropriate, right? If you have a little corner of your desk or something like that, it may comfort you. It'll be a space of love and connection. You can also speak to your loved ones in spirit anytime. They will hear you. They know. Just you can see the example that just happened with Cheryl. Her daughter gave me that information. I had no way of knowing that. And she told me exactly what happened. She just had an intense phone call or conversation with someone just very recently, and it was 4 hours ago. They hear you, they see you, they know everything you're doing at all times. Now, they don't care about normal human stuff like taking a shower, going to the bathroom, or having romantic time with a partner. They don't care about that. They were human. They know what your body does. They just want you to know they are around you and they know that you love them and you miss them. So you can talk to them anytime. And especially if you need to do some type of little ritual for them on Mother's Day. You can write a letter to them, read it to them, burn it in a safe place if you can, and just say a prayer and release all of the messages out into the ether. Oh, you are welcome, Cheryl. You are so welcome. Yeah, sometimes they're stubborn, right? Sometimes they're stubborn. And she knows you desperately needed a message today, so she just popped that into my head, you know? So she is safe and at peace, I promise. You can also journal signs and messages. So if you're getting messages or signs, write them down, put the date, say what happened. Then you can track the consistency of the messages. And it'll be a powerful record of your love and connection with your child and spirit. And it's validating. Even as a medium, I sometimes second guess what's happening, probably because of my scientific background. I think, oh, how is this possible? I was doing a reading the other day and I was downstairs afterwards and I'm talking to my daughter-in-law and I was telling her the story of what happened. And she's like, how did you know that? I'm like, I don't know. It just comes into my head. I can't explain it any other way except there are forces we can't see, touch, or feel that just communicate with us. She's also a scientist. So she works in biotech. And so, and actually, it was her grandmother who gave me my final validation of the fact that I was a medium when her grandmother passed away. So we have a close bond over that. Let's see. Amy wants to know the sex of the baby and if they are with you today. I probably could tell you that, but I can't prove it. There's no way to validate it. So unless you already know, I could say boy and girl. But if you don't know that for a fact, there's no way to validate that. And I don't like to give information that you can't validate because I don't want to look like a fraud. So that's not something I would do normally. I sometimes will see a blue blanket for a baby boy or, a pink ribbon for a baby girl, but those are for people who can validate that. And I just don't want to give you information that I can't prove. You understand? And yes, the souls are in your soul group and can communicate with you anytime. Absolutely. There's no harm come to them. They're safe and at peace. They've been in your life before in other lives. They may have come back into your family in another way, through you or through someone else in your family. Again, I can't prove that. Cheryl, oh Lord have mercy. You have no idea how stubborn she is. That's funny. Yeah. So that proves it, right? She was stubborn. Diana gets quarters, usually 4 separate in different places. Wow. And single feathers from her sister. Wow. That's awesome. Hi, Amy. Understands. Okay. Just wondered if you had any clues. I mean, I wouldn't really instinctually, I keep hearing boy, girl, but I can't prove that. I just can't prove it. Thank you, Kimmy. Thank you very much. And Jane, I appreciate that. I try to be that way. You know why? I was talking about this to my husband the other day. Um, first of all, I'm pretty honest and I'm pretty open book in my life, and I'm having a horrible allergy attack. So I'm sorry about all the wiping and sniffling. But thank you, Cheryl. Um, but also as I get older, I'm in my mid 50s now. Remember, I have a filter on and lots of lights. I'm in my mid 50s. And if I tell a lie, I'm not going to remember the lie I told. Right. So I might as well just be honest so I don't forget. Anybody else in that 50s range where you're like, 50s or 60s and you're like, I can't remember. You got CRS, can't remember SHIT. That's what my family calls it. We got the CRS. So it's easier just to be honest so I don't forget. So anyway, that's just a little, lighthearted funniness, I guess. So you can also meditate and pray for the connection. Take quiet moments. Everybody gets it. Take quiet moments to connect with your loved ones in spirit. Celebrate them. Do something in honor of your loved ones. Love never dies. You will always feel that tangible love forever. Be gentle with yourself. Give yourself grace. Don't be hard on yourself. Hi, inner light. Let's see. Faye's brutally honest at 55. Kim hears it. Amy all the time. Late 60s, can't remember. Kimmy Cat, yep, 59. Yep. Love never dies. That's right. So I'm glad we're all in the CRS club. Can't remember. Bleep. I just want, oh, I know, Bigfoot. Oh, Julie's 54. Yeah, I'm 54 also. And I just inner life photography lives out by some woods, and they're hearing some weird stuff out there. So know that it's okay to be gentle with yourself, have some grace with yourself. And I just want to thank everyone for being here. All the comments, all the clicks, all the likes, all the shares, everything. And know that I honor the love you have for your loved ones in spirit. I honor your grief. I hold this space for everyone because now more than ever, we need places to go to be together where we can share our grief, where we can share our pain, where we can share some funny jokes and some positivity, and know that we're all in this crazy life together. And we might as well make a community of like-minded people who understand each other and love each other and support each other, because I don't think the world's going to get easier. I think it's just going to get more complicated. And so it's best to be together as a community. So I appreciate everyone who's been here. I wish you all peace and love for Mother's Day, whether you are a motherless person or a mother who has an angel in spirit. I love all of you. I appreciate every comment, like, and everything that helps me so much in my business. I wouldn't be here without all of you on my social media, period. I built my whole business on social media, and I appreciate every one of you. So thank you so much. Um, yes, if you're in the Spirit Exchange, I'll see you tomorrow night. And I'm very excited about that. Again, it's sold out, jam packed tomorrow night. So if you want to get on the waiting list, let me know. And just peace and love to everyone. I am traveling for the weekend for Mother's Day, having a family get together. And then I'll be back next week with my regular lives. So thank you all and good night. Mwah. Sleep tight, everybody. Thank you. Bye. Oh, Kimmy Cat, tomorrow night, Spirit Exchange is on Zoom. So if you're a member of the Spirit Exchange already, you should have gotten an email. You can email me and let me know. Okay, bye. Good night. Thanks, everybody.